Kira ini nanti.
Kira ini.
Oh.
Record dulu.
Mic off.
Good morning, everyone. Now we will begin the Dhamma talk for today, and all of you have observed 8 precepts or 10 precepts already. So we would not begin the Dhamma talk with 5 precepts as we do traditionally, but now we have the Dhamma talk. समन्ता चक्रवालेषु अत्र गच्छन्तु देवता सद्धम्मं मुनिराजस्य शृण्वन्तु सग्गमोक्खदं धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्तं धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्ता धम्मश्रवणकालो अयं वदन्ता नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स नमो तस् भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स तस्मैहं भन्ते इमेषु आयस्मन्तेषु मित्तं कायकम्मं पच्चुपट्टितं अविवेच राहोच मित्तं वचि कम्मं पच्चुपट्टितं आविचेव राहोच मित्तं मनोकम्मं पच्चुपट्टितं आविचेव राहोच तस्मैहं भन्ते एवं होति यन्नूनाहं सकञ्चित्तं भिक्खवे निक्षिपित्वा इमे संयेव आयस्मन्तानं चित्तस्य वशेन वर्तयन्ति अतको अहं भन्ते सकञ्चित्तं निक्षिपित्वा इमे संआयस्मन्तानं चित्तस्य वशेन वर्तामि नानाहिको भन्ते कायो एकञ्च पनमे मन्ये चित्तन्ति This morning I taught this little section from the Chula Gosing Sutta, which is the number 31 of the Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 31. I thought it is somewhat helpful for us who are living as family, as groups, or as community, because it is very common that we live with your family and children, and then if it is a dormitory type place, we have a group of people. If it's another temple-like place, we have other monks and other people who live at the temple maybe. And at that time, how do we live without creating pain and suffering to frustration and fear to any of us? So it is very important that how to live correctly with people around. It is one of the most important part of Buddhist practice, harmony. If there is no harmony, there is conflict, there is disagreements, there is quarrels, and all these things create frustration and fear and suffering and unhappiness. So, promise in the Buddha's teaching is that if you follow the Dhamma, if you follow the teachings of the Buddha, uh, it guarantees that you live happily and peacefully. And everyone want to live happily and peacefully, but we don't know how. Therefore, we make too many mistakes in communal living, and as a result, we lose our peace and happiness. So, this sutta, Chula Gosinga Sutta, is a wonderful example we find how to live harmoniously and happily with other people around. This sutta is about three venerable monks. One of the monks is very, very famous, that is Venerable Anuruddha. The other monk is Nandya, and the third one is Kimbila. These three venerable monks were staying in one park of the Lichavis. Lichavis is Vajjains. Vajjains are a very rich group of people. The state of Vajji is pretty wealthy, and they are people who do things right most of the time. Even the government is a federal government. That means very liberal and very parliamentary type system, not a dictator type state. In Lichavi, it's a very group of people who were getting together very often, and like a parliament, and then they discuss matters, and then they execute things in the country to bring happiness for people. If there's anything happening wrong, the Lichavis do something about it, and they generate a happy state. And Lichavi is supposed to be very good looking people, very nice people, and very harmonious people. And one time, a neighboring country, state, I think King Bimbisara was somebody, want to attack Lichavis because they are rich and they have the wealth in that state, and any king would want to be a part of that wealth. Uh, Even today, if a country is doing well and wealthy, and conditions are nice, other countries want to take over those wealthy country with diligent people, and that is happening today also. That time the message goes to the Buddha that so and so, King so and so is going to attack Lichavis, and so they were talking about it. And then message goes to the Buddha, and Buddha only asked one question. Ananda or somebody who was talking about it. Do you think Ananda Lichavis still follow 7 guidelines of a good governing system? Sapta Aparihaniya Dharma. Aparihana means, Parihana means destruction. Aparihana means non-destruction, not very strong government. Sapta Aparihaniya Dhamma taught by the Buddha to Lichavis, and they used to follow these guidelines, and as a result, they are still very strong. And then Ananda replies, yes, Bante, all the Lichavins are still follow the 7 guidelines of non-destruction, Aprihaniya Dharma. So then Buddha says, oh, in that case, any king cannot attack the country and win over these people because they are always very strong, because they are following the Dhamma, that is the Sapta Parihaniya Dhamma. Any government who want to do well for the people and make the country a strong and economically strong and harmonious and prosperous, and these guidelines should be followed. And so this is the state where these 3 monks are staying now. Buddha happened to be in that state also, visiting. Sometimes he spent some months in Lichavit's state, Vajjayan's state, and they have beautiful gardens and parks and other things for the spiritual people to come and live peacefully and practice peacefully. And this Gosinga Sutta is related to this one of the parks where these 3 venerable monks are staying and practicing. Anuruddha, Kimbila, and Nandika. Those are the 3 venerable monks' names. And now they are in this beautiful Sala garden, forest, and they were practicing as a little group and living harmoniously. And then Buddha knew that these 3 people are practicing very well and living harmoniously, and he wanted to visit them and congratulate them and further advise the 3 venerable monks. And according to the sutta, the Buddha, after meditation in the afternoon, he get up and go to visit these 3 monks. And the park ranger, the park keeper, the one who is guarding the park, at the entrance, he saw that Buddha was coming from far away, and he didn't know who the Buddha was. He only saw another monk, just like these 3 monks who are living in his forest that he is guarding. And this guard, or the forest ranger, seems to be very fond of these 3 monks, and because they are so joyful and exemplary people, and park ranger has developed some affection towards these 3 monks. And when another monk is coming, he didn't know it was the Buddha, whether coming to visit the 3 monks, the park ranger blocked him. No, please don't go there, because there are 3 monks living here. They are very harmonious and peaceful. I don't want you to go there and disturb their peace. So don't go in. So he blocked the Buddha. He didn't know he was the Buddha and the teacher of all three monks, a great master of all monks, and he just blocked him because he didn't want a new monk to come and disturb the peace of the three monks who are living so nicely in the forest. And Venerable Anuruddha heard the discussion of the park ranger and the Buddha, and then they know who the Buddha is. Anuruddha is my master. He quickly goes to the park ranger and say, park keeper, please don't stop the monk who is coming. He is not just a monk. He is our Lord Buddha, and he was the teacher of all of us, and he was the master of all three worlds, and he's the one who is coming to visit us, and you cannot stop the Buddha, and don't stop the Buddha. Please let them come in and visit us. And then immediately other two monks also came to know that Buddha was at the gate trying to coming in, and then now park ranger let the Buddha to go into the park, and then all the three monks very diligently went forward to welcome the Buddha, and one took the bowl of the Buddha, the other one took the robes, extra robes of the Buddha, and then they invited them in to where they where they were dwelling in the park. So as soon as the Buddha came into the area, one monk prepared the water to wash his feet, and the other monk arranged a seat. The other monk maybe arranged some water or something for him to drink, and all these things are done. And Buddha sat on the seat that was prepared for him, and then he had a little exchange of words saying like venerable monks, and then he was talking to Anuruddha, I think mostly because he was the leader of the group. How are you monks are doing in the forest? Are you doing well? And three of you are you living in concord? Concord means harmony. Huh? Are you living in concord with mutual appreciation, mutual respect, without disputing, without having quarrels and arguments, binding like milk and water? Milk and water is a famous example of bonding. Bonding means mixing well. When you put the water into the milk, a little glass of water, a cup of water into a bowl of milk, it mixes really well, and there's no clash. And that is why are you harmonious like milk and water? That's the question of the Buddha. Kiriha, the milk and water mix very well, and you cannot tell the separation. So when when the good husband and wife, good children and parents are harmonious, we can tell them, oh, they are like milk and water. They are very harmonious. That means they mix very well. They work very well together. And that is the idea. That's the question that Buddha asked. Venerable Sir, how are you doing? Three of you, are you living in concord? Are you living harmoniously? And then Venerable Anuruddha said, yes, Lord, we live very peacefully and very happily without having any conflict or any disagreement and anything. And then Buddha asked, okay, what is your secret of, three people live together in one place, there are supposed to be a lot of conflict. Remember, even the monks in Kosambi. Remember Kosambi's story? Monks started a quarrel, two groups, based on something happened, and that quarrel went on, and now there are two groups arguing and disagreeing and maybe even fighting with each other. And Buddha advised them to be harmonious. Please be nice to each other. Please practice respect for each other and all this. But they didn't listen to the Buddha, and they keep quarreling. Kosambi monks, the famous story. And since they are not listening to the Buddha, what did the Buddha do? Was he left Kosambi city, Kosambi Anura in Sinhalese. Kosambi city, he left the city and went to the forest. During that time, remember one rainy season, our Buddha was staying the rainy season in the forest, and that is the time when one elephant was helping him with water and food and other things. And then there was another monkey who was taking care of the Buddha's food during that time. And so that's the Kosambanura story, the story of the city of Kosambi. That means just because they are monks, they are not going to get along and live peacefully when certain things happen. And in this case, these three monks were living very peacefully and happily and harmoniously. And therefore, Buddha is asking, how are you doing this? How are you living comfortably? What is your secret? What is the method that you use? And then Venerable Anand gave a very, very beautiful story. Maintaining bodily acts of loving kindness towards other two people, each other. Maintaining bodily action of loving kindness. Mettang kaya kammang pachupatitang aviceva rahocha. Aviceva rahocha. We always bodily action, loving kind, act of loving kindness bodily towards both other monks. And then other monks were same towards Anuruddha, bodily metta kayakam, metta bodily action. Avicheva rahocha, when they are in the presence or when they are not in the presence. In other words, sometimes we have the tendency to say bad things about our family members, maybe wife or husband, towards your mother, to your mother and your own father. So my wife is like this, my husband is like this, and that kind of things. But that is a verbal. Metta, verbal action. Mettang vachikamma. mettang manokamma. That is a very important part of the metta practice. You physically behave in a manner that your action doesn't hurt the other people, doesn't harm the other people. You intentionally never do anything that is harmful to someone bodily. That is called metta kaya kamma. Kaya means body, metta means loving kindness. Loving bodily actions of loving kindness we practice. And Venerable Sir, we also practice metta vachikama, even in their presence or even they are not in the presence. So remember I said we have the tendency to say things or do things harmful to others when they are not around. Your friends or people that you associate, when you say things and you think things, metta manokamma. So you practice metta kaya kamma, metta vachikamma. Vachi means words, verbal actions. Metta manokamma. Even a thought you don't generate in a way that you are thinking bad about your friend, thinking negatively about your associate. So, avicheva rahocha. Avicheva rahocha means even in the presence or even when they are not around. You don't do anything harmful. You don't say anything harmful. You don't think anything harmful. Not only that, you always do things that is full of loving kindness. Your action is full of loving kindness. Your words are full of loving kindness. Your thoughts are full of loving kindness. So that is how we live, Venerable Sir. Among us, three of us, when we live in this forest, we never think or do or say anything harmful to any one of us. Therefore, our harmony is very strong and we live very peacefully and we do things very cordially. And then Buddha asked also some other questions. One other question says, also says, Venerable Sir, when we go out for begging and come back to have our lunch, and we do things very harmoniously. Somebody prepare seats for lunch, and the other one is preparing water and things. Then other person is preparing waste container. When they are having lunch, you have some things to put outside, and then they do it. And after, then some person prepare drinking water, some person prepare washing water, the washing dishes and things like that. And when we every day when we come back or do things together, we do without saying that this is my job, that is your job, and you do your job, you didn't do your job. None of those things. They all do whatever they have to do at that moment. And one is preparing water, one is preparing plates, one is preparing seats, one is preparing the table, one is and then after you finish, you all very peacefully get together and throw the waste food into a place where it's not too much green, that living grasses like things that you don't put over on throw on top of that. We do it harmlessly, and then we want to disassemble the tables and things, and we always don't talk too much, but when one person is lifting from one side the table and the other person come and help lifting the table from the other side, and then things happen, but you don't even necessarily tell, please come and help me, I want to move this table. You don't say like that. So the other person see it and they need help, and they immediately go and help. And that is how I was talking to somebody yesterday about a good family, harmonious family. A husband is watching TV, and wife is washing all the dishes, piles and piles of dishes, and husband neglect all the work that she already had cooked, and now she has to wash dishes. Now, in that case, the husband immediately, even without asking by the wife, you immediately husband go and help doing dishes and cleaning the countertops and cleaning the floor, and all that is done harmoniously, even without asking. And that kind of situation is the one that Venerable Anuruddha is telling about the Buddha in their case. And then you can see the synchronicity, no conflict, no disagreements, no bad feelings. You just keep doing what is available for doing. So then that is what Venerable Anuruddha is telling the Buddha. When we are doing things around and we don't talk too much. We don't talk too much because talking could be harmful sometimes. Therefore, without talking, we understand each other. That is the thing. I don't have to tell them that please come and help, or please do this, I will do this, you do that. No. You just do as a group, and everything happen when everything know what is necessary and what need to be done, and then things happen. And then said, we don't talk too much, Venerable, but every 5 days, all night, we sit down and talk. What do we talk? We talk all the good things, Dhamma. All night. Every 5 days we get together and discuss Dhamma. And when you discuss Dhamma, and basically you know the feelings of the other person, what is going on in the mind of the other person, and all these things each other knows. And basically they are very good people, diligent people, and they don't talk nonsense during the Dhamma discussion. So they only talk all night, Dhamma discussion. So then he's telling the Buddha, although we don't talk too much, one full day, full night, we spend talking Dhamma with each other every 5 days. So therefore our harmony is very, very good, and we have no conflict. We live very peacefully in the place. although there's 3 people. And then he also say one thing. Venerable Anuruddha says that, Venerable Sir, we are 3 different people, but we think alike. How do we think alike? That's a big question. This is easy. Why? I don't have a strong feeling of this is the way it should be done. Not his way, but my way. Then I don't have something called my way of doing things. When others want to do something, I just go along with them and do it. And so I don't believe in my own way or my own style. Whatever the others are doing, I just join. So then whatever I am doing, they just join. They don't have stubborn feelings, ideas and views of doing things. So then Venerable Anuruddha is telling the Buddha, we act like one person. Although we are 3 people in mind, we are one. So therefore, when somebody is going to do something, lift the table and move it to someplace else, I'm not going to tell them, no, let's move this table to that place, move it to here. It's not my way. I just go and join them and do it. So therefore, we don't have any conflicts and disagreements and bad feelings for each other. So this is a very wonderful sutta that is very good example for us to follow when we are living with other people. Your husband is another person, your wife is another person, your children and your parents and your grandparents and all these people. And the problem that we have, we never want to let other person do things the other person want. I want them to do the way I want. That's the problem. And as long as you have that, this is my way, everyone should follow my way, and that thinking is also creating big harmony. That's why sometimes when your son or daughter is getting married to someone you don't like, that means you have a different opinion, and then you even disown your own son or daughter. It happens in our culture. That is because I have my way and you should do my way. And so this venerable monk is saying, no, we don't have that. We are very flexible. We are very flexible. That's the idea that you need to have in our lives to live harmoniously and happily. And then Buddha even asked, yes, to live very happily and peacefully, but do you practice diligently towards enlightenment? Yes, Venerable Sir. We always sit down and meditate. We practice. He didn't say I practice. Venerable Anuruddha say, we practice meditation and we come to the first stage of jhana. Patamajjana, avitakkang, avicharang, vivekajang, piti sukhang, patamajjanang, upasampajya viharama. That means when vivekajang means born from peace, vivekajang. When they are living in peace and harmony, calmness arise, vivekajang. Piti sukha. Piti sukha means you are not angry or unhappy or upset or anything. That is piti. When you are not angry and upset, you are so happy. Happy in very peaceful. Piti Sukhang, Patamajjana, first state of jhana, samadhi, we attain and we live peacefully. And then Buddha says, that's very nice. And do you keep doing further practice? Yes, Venerable Sir, we do avitakang, avicharang, vivekajang piti sukhang. Now go to the second jhana. Then he says, yes, we practice the second jhana. We practice, huh? He said, we practice. And then also say, we attain to the third jhana, we attain to the fourth jhana, we attain to Nevasanya. After every question, every time Buddha question, do you attain something further? Yes, yes. And then Akinchanyayatana, Nevasanya, Nasanyayatana, Nirodha Samapatti. And then Buddha asks, do you practice even further towards Nibbana? Yes, Venerable Sir, we practice asavakya. We practice asavakya jnana. That means asava means things that influence our mind. Kama asava, bhava asava, dittha asava, avijja asava. All these are strong forces. Sota. Sota means force of water that push away everything. Push you around this way and that way. And that is asava's job, is to push us here and there. And when certain things influence us, something avidya, so ignorance, kamasava, dittasava, kamasava, when something that we like is directly influencing us to and take us away from a different direction, that's called asava. And when the Buddha meditated under the Bodhi tree, he attained several jhanas, and finally he attained several iddhis. Iddhis means you want to call it magical power, is fine. Psychic powers is fine. Some iddhis. Iddhis means these things that other people cannot do. For example, Dibba Chakku is iddhi, divine eye. You can see things that is happening far away, not just right in front of you. But that is Dibba Chakku. You can close its house. The Buddha used Dibba Chakku every morning. You remember when he wake up, who should be the best person for me to help today? That's called trance of great compassion. Maha Karuna Samapatti. Maha Karuna Samapatti is something that he get into first thing in the morning, close his eyes, and he see who is the best person for me to help. And then he see Angulimala, then he see Rajamala, then he see another monk, a little boy who is going to die and go to hell, and he attend immediately and stop these people. But he saw them from his temple. Buddha is sitting in the temple, and this thing is happening far away, maybe miles away, and he sees that is Dibba Chakku. And then Dibba Sota, you can hear things happening. Then some devas having a discussion in the heavenly existence in heaven, somewhere far away up there, and the Buddha can pay attention and listen to the discussion of the devas or brahmas or someone like that. No? That's called Dibba Sota. Dibba Chakku, Dibba Sota, Parachitta Vijanana. You sit down with some person for who came to ask a question from the Buddha, and Buddha can close his eyes and then he can see what is really going on in this person's mind. That's parachitta vijanana, knowing the mind of the others, thoughts of the others. It is a very common, powerful skill, uh, iddhi that the Buddha had. And Pubbe Nivasanusati. Pubbe Nivasanusati means he can close his eyes, he can remember where he was in the past life, and in the past life, and in the past life, 1,000 lives ago, 10,000 lives ago, 100,000 lives ago, Buddha can see. But some other people also generate Dibba Chakku, Pubbe Nivasanusati, that means remembering the past lives, that's a iddhi, but they may not be able to remember past lives like the Buddha. 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 lives Buddha can see where he was, where this person was, but some other people who develop the same middhi may not have the same capacity. The capacity is much more little, minimum, when some other people have it, but Buddhists have the unlimited, infinite capacity of seeing the past lives. Ubbe Nivasa Nusati, then Chutupapatanyana, when somebody dies here and where this person is going to be born, where this person was born, and he can tell immediately. Out of millions of people who were born in this particular second, and this thousands of people died, but Buddha can pinpoint this person died here and he was reborn here, there. Out of all the millions, he can pinpoint that person, and that's called Chutupapatanan. Chuti means living, Uppatti means birth, birth, death, and birth of people. Then not only that, he can also see why this person was born, died here in the temple, who was a monk, and born as a animal or something. All monks be born in good places because they have been practicing Dharma, and but this person had some problems in his mind, and as a result he became an animal, and then he knows what the problem that caused him to be an animal, so he can say that. That is called Chuti Patti Jnana. Okay, then those are not that uh, uh, that those are not the uh, most powerful knowledges. You can see where you were in the past lives, but most powerful knowledge is the asava kaya. Asava, we were talking about the influences. Kaya means destruction, completely stop the influences to you, and what make you go here, go there, die here, born there, and all these things are caused by asavas, influences. And why are you starting a fight with this person? Influences. Something influenced him to start a fight with them. Somebody start making him think bad about the other person. Something influenced him to be nice to someone. So, what are the things that influence? And Buddha has destroyed all the influences at the moment of enlightenment while achieving all the other knowledge like iddhis, all the other jhanas. And then Buddha was asking, do you gain any other uh, supreme superhuman qualities? Superhuman means above human. Uttari Manusa Dhamma. Uttari Manusa Dhamma. Manusa means human. Uttara means above. Dhamma means dharmata, the wisdom, knowledge, and all that. No? Uttari Manusa Dhamma. Have you any samadhi, any jhana, Patama jhanas, Dutiya jhana, Tatiya jhana, all these jhanas are above humans, because human beings can see only what is around through their eyes, but the calmness that they are experiencing in the mind cannot be experienced at all human beings, common human beings. People who specially put effort and time and energy can attain the first jhana, second jhana, and third jhana, and they are beyond ordinary human, beyond ordinary human. All the other psychic powers are beyond ordinary humans. Ordinary humans cannot have those skills. But asavakya is the most important thing that make you an enlightened person. When you have the achievement of asavakya jnana, then you are enlightened. So that is what the Buddha attained in the morning of enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. The last achievement was asavakya jnana. And now kamasava, ditthasava, bhavasava, avidjasava, all these things are asavas constantly pushing us around and moving us to different places, making us do things, making us say things, making us behave in a certain way. All these things are happening to us all the time, because these asavas are in operation all the time in us or on us. So that is why we get into quarrels and fights and all kinds of things that we do. You see a piece of cake on the table and you feel like tasting it. And asava, kama asava, is a push you to do something that may be right, that may be not right, but that is not what it is, but it pushes you to do something. Anyway, the Venerable Anuruddha is saying, yes, Venerable Sir, we have achieved even higher. We have achieved asavakya jnana. We know what are the asavas are. We have destroyed the power of asavas. That means these Venerable three monks are not simple people. They are all enlightened. Not only enlightened, they are fully enlightened. Fully enlightened means completely eliminated all the asavas, all the raga, dosa, moha, all these emotions, the negative emotions, all destroyed. And so then Buddha was so happy, and then he gave some instruction further to the three monks, and wished them well. And he said, okay, it's time for me to leave, and I see you some other time. And then he left. And after Buddha left, and they all went behind the Buddha all the way to the gate, that is Pasugamang, and following or seeing off. When a monk visit your house and have some tea or something, dana or something, and when they are leaving, you have the practice to walk with the monk out of the door and until they leave your property, and you follow them and you say goodbye at the end of the property. and that's a good thing. But some people don't know it. When, especially in the cold weather, I found that you open the door and let the person leave, and you close the door because it is cold. But in our culture, there's no such a thing like bad weather, cold weather or something. And even if it is raining, we have the tendency to find an umbrella and walk behind the venerable guest who came to your house, and walk follow with them for few steps, and say goodbye at the end of your property or end of the gate or something. And so same thing that they did to the Buddha. And then after they came back, uh, one of the monks, Venerable Nandika or the Kimbila, and both of them, I think, asked Venerable Anuruddha, Venerable Anuruddha, how did you say we practice first jhana? How did you say to the Buddha, we practice second jhana, and all the way up to asavakkhaya we practice? I never tell you that I have achieved asavakkhaya jhana. None of us told you we have achieved asavakkhaya jnana. But you said to the Buddha that we achieved asavakkhaya jnana. Then Venerable Anuruddha said, I have been with you for all this time. So I can read your mind, I can read your body, I can read your words, and I can see what you have experienced. Just like I am, I know what I experience. Pratama jhana, Dutiya jhana, first stage of calmness, second stage of calmness, third stage of calmness I have achieved, and I know you have achieved that also, although you never told me that you have achieved. So that is how a great people know each other so well. Then if you are a good husband, you really know what is going on in your life, in your wife's life. If you are a good wife, you know what is going on in your husband's life, what is really happening there. And this was a great sutta for us to learn about harmonious living. And then you can see this is actually enlightened people. When enlightened people get together, that's called Sangha. When you say Sangha, Sangha is all very synchronized. When you see some birds fly with total synchronicity, that means you know where the other bird is flying. And you have seen two birds sit on a branch, and both birds look left, right, left, right. So you can see how harmonious they are. That those are very good couples in the past lives, have become birds now, and they are so synchronized. Synchronicity is so high, and when they take off, they both start flying like magic. So that is how harmonious communal living is. And this sutta is a very nice sutta, and the time is over now for this is the Chula Gosinga Sutta. The Buddha was the main person, and then here, and then Venerable Anuruddha, famous Arahant, and then Nandika and Kimbila are the three monks living together in this particular forest. And then in the end of the sutta, there's something very nice happen also. One of the demon king who was not a bad guy. This demon king was very powerful demon, comes to see the Buddha that evening. Venerable Sir, I think this Lichavis, this government, or these people in this country, in this state, are so lucky because now you are staying here, and these three venerable monks are staying in their state, and to have people like such great people in their state, in the state where they live, they are so lucky. It's amazingly lucky. This country, this state is very lucky because you are there, and three great people like Anuruddha and Nandika and Kimbila was here in this state, and the people in this state are very lucky. Nobody think like that. If you think that you have a great person in your area, you don't think it is a fortunate thing. You just don't care because you don't have appreciation. But this demon king comes to the Buddha and said very loud, say, Venerable Sir, we are so happy about these people in this state of Lichavins, Vajjiputrakas, that's the name of the group of people. And then that was heard by local devas. Local devas also said, "Oh, so these people are so lucky. You are right. The king Mahajanak or something, some demon king, not a bad king, but very good one. No? Otherwise, he would not appreciate anything like this." So anyway, uh, it goes all the way to the Brahma world, the noise of appreciation of this type of wonderful people living in this country, this part of the world, this state, and these people are so fortunate. And so that was the end of the story. It went all the way to the Brahma world, that in other words, the people in this government, people in this particular small country in India, small area, small, not a small area, it's fairly okay area, Lichavitz, and there were 16 different states. This is one of the 16 state in India, and so at that time Buddha was dwelling in this particular state, and these three monks were dwelling in the state, and that is why that demon king was so happy and expressed his appreciation and joy to the Buddha in the evening. Anyway, that is the Chula Gosinga Sutta, one of the very useful sutta for us. You don't have to be monks to live harmoniously, happily. Everyone who live together should be happy and harmonious and productive. That is the productivity. In the end of the discussion, Buddha was asking, how productive are you? Because you have become monks to achieve ultimate nibbana, peace, and how have you doing in that area? That is what the answer was. We have already gradually, he was telling, little by little, and we have achieved the ultimate enlightenment also. So with these thoughts in our mind, that we finished the Dhamma talk, and all of you are so lucky to listen to the Dhamma, because out of many thousands of people who had no understanding of the existence of the teachings of the Buddha in the form of sutras, after 2600 years later, we still have the Dhamma, and this is the most rare thing in the whole universe, and we are able to hear it, and that means we are so fortunate. And by listening to the Dhamma, by making offerings to the Buddha early in the morning, and by observing 8 precepts and 10 precepts, all of you have generated a lot of positive energy. And let us share this positive energy with our family and friends, especially the deceased family members, our parents and grandparents and other people, with gratitude. For to do so, let us recite the Gatha, Idamme Jnati Nang Hotu. Idamme Jnati Nang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo. Idamme Jnati Nang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo. Idamme Jnati Nang Hotu Sukhita Hontu Jnatayo. by the power of the positive energy that you have generated by listening the Dharma, and by the power of the wisdom that you generate by listening to the Dhamma. May you all be happy and joyful, and may you all attain ultimate peace, which is Nibbana, as soon as possible in this samsara. With these thoughts in our mind, please say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much. And now, in a few minutes, Venerable Sumana will come and guide you with a short meditation, and then we have the Buddha Puja after that. We have about 5 minutes. We have the meditation from 10:45 to 11:15. That is 30 minutes. Okay. So you can take a short break and